In this video, I'll show you how to replace a broken plastic handle on a garden saw with one made out of wood. Let's get right to it. To disassemble this saw, I just need to undo this one bolt and remove a tiny pin. I picked up this chunk of tattered wood from the base of a tree in my neighborhood. Not only did I get it at the bargain price of $3.99, but I also really enjoy using old, discarded wood that would otherwise be left to rot. I just need to clean it up a little to get it ready for the table saw. This first cut is to open it up so I can inspect the inner core. I'm going to need to pass it through the saw a few times to square it up a little so it'll be easier to work with. Next, I'll trace out the front end of the original handle. This will need to be almost identical so that the saw blade components all fit and operate correctly. Back over at the table saw, I'll cut away as much of the extra wood as possible. The hand saw will have to do some of the finer cuts. This next cut is to bring the block down to the handle's final thickness. Sawing these slots will allow me to chisel out the remaining material to form the curvature of the handle grip. The rasp is a very aggressive wood file that will take this handle down to its final shape in no time. Whenever the file gets clogged with wood debris, I use my wire brush to clean it out. The front end tapers sharply to account for the blade components, so I'll cut away both sides to save time rather than just filing it. This hole is for the main bolt attaching the blade. By countersinking the top area using an extra large drill bit, I'll create some space for the bolt head to slot into. For the nut, I'll trace out the pattern and then chisel away the wood. Here, I'll measure and cut out the slot for the blade parts as well as the blade itself. This oscillating tool with a curved saw blade is the perfect tool for cutting out this tricky end portion of the handle, where the blade will be kept secure when folded away. The pinhole needs to be measured out precisely so that the blade locks into position at the correct angle for cutting. A slight bend between the blade and handle will establish some good leverage for cutting. A little bit of sanding and the handle is all ready for adding a protective coating. This boiled linseed oil will add a beautiful color and natural finish, highlighting the pattern of the wood grain. It is not as protective as a proper varnish, so I'll need to reapply every few seasons to replenish the look and feel. I'm applying a second coat after 30 minutes to really allow the wood to take up as much of the oil as possible. When done, I'll wipe away the extra oil and let it sit overnight. Assembly is pretty straightforward. First, the blade plus its supporting mechanism. Then the nut and bolt. And finally the little pin. Now, this pin is probably not going anywhere, but I'm going to seal up these holes with a little bit of epoxy anyways. I'll leave it to cure for 24 hours. Okay, time to test out how comfortable and effective the new handle is. It's a pass. Well folks, I hope you've enjoyed the video. If you haven't already, please subscribe.